All right, so what I'm going to do is a quick little tutorial of my favorite way to use AI in the classroom. And that is Google Script and ChatGPT together. Just so you know, of course, you can use Gemini or other AI tools to do this as well. I just like using ChatGPT. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to get ChatGPT to generate a test. Now, if you already have a test that you like to use, you can also take a test that you like to use and add it here by clicking plus and add photos and files. And then you could upload, for example, a PDF. And a PDF would basically input all of your text. It also does a really good job of taking in like math formulas, things like that. There's just a few things it's a little sticky on. So for example, if you were doing a math test and you had a graph, it's not going to be doing a good job of doing that. So you would have to add that in afterwards. And then there's just a few little things like that. For the most part, it does a really good job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it to generate a math test for me, though, just for the purposes of this video. So when I do these, I like to do them is either multiple choice or check boxes, just because I typically use these as formative assignments so that my students can kind of get quick feedback on whether they're doing something right or wrong. So I'm going to get it to make a quick little feedback test on some algebra skills that we do in Math 6. So can you make me a multiple choice and multi-select test, actually, let's just call it a quiz, where students need to, and then I'm going to list all the things I want it to do. What I find with getting ChatGPT to generate tests is the more specific you are, the better results you will get. But let's just give it a few things to work on. So I want students to be able to substitute into an expression to get a value. I want them to be able to combine and identify like terms. I want them to be able to, let's do apply the distributive law. Law. I want them to apply, the distributive law and combine like terms. Only one of question like this, because this is a little bit of a higher, little bit of a higher level question for grade 6. And then I want them to solve 1 and 2 step algebraic equations using multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, and include at least one question where there is a bracket and distribution on one side. Oh, and then maybe at the end I will say add 2 word problems and 1 problem where a student needs to identify an error in a distributive law question. So I'm basically just adding in a few little bit higher level questions at the end, and just kind of the more descriptive you can be with ChatGPT, the better. The other thing I typically add at the end is, because ChatGPT really likes to make all the answers B or something like that, is make sure the answers are spread out. So not every answer is B, for example. All right, so we're going to go with that. My main point is not really to show how to get the test to generate itself, but this is typically how I would do it. If I take a look here, these aren't bad, actually. I don't mind these. I would say the substitution questions, I might have wanted to put a little bit of a simpler one, but that is quite okay. I think I'm going to kind of just go with it. It's looking pretty good. I've got some multiple choice, some multi-select, some simple ones, some a little bit more complicated ones. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. It looks like we've got a fairly good mix of A's and B's, although it did do, and this is one thing I might tell it to do is if you take a look here, we have B quite a lot. So I might say something, can you change some of the multiple choice answers to B from B to D so it is more spread out. So obviously you'd want to really check over something that you are doing, but we'll go with that. Okay, so now the main thing I wanted to show you here is how do we actually get Google to go or basically get ChatGPT to turn this into a Google form really quickly and easily. So what a prompt I'm going to put in here is, can you turn this into a Google script to generate a self-marking Google form? Please make sure space for the student name. Okay, so I add the student name thing because I know that's something it does tend to forget. So what it's going to do here is it's going to generate a code. And this code is basically going to have all of those questions that we just came up with. If I had uploaded a PDF of a test that I already like to use, it would also take those. And what it can do is really quickly and easily turn this into a Google form. So it's just basically generating my coding right now. And once that coding is all generated, what we're going to do is we're going to simply copy paste it over into this. So this is script.google.com. It's basically just an app from Google. And if you have Google for your work account or a personal account, you would have access to this. Okay. So just give me a second here. I had a little bit of an error. We'll just do regenerate here. You know what? This might give me an error, which is helpful because I can show you how to troubleshoot it. But I seem to have a little bit of a glitch there, but let's just see how it works because it seems to be done generating here my test. Because yes, it's got 17 questions. Theoretically, it should be fine. So I copied it right here by clicking this little button here. And then if I go over here, I'm going to go new project. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this function right here and just go Control V to paste it in. And what it's done is it's pasted in the code to turn this test over here into a Google form. So I hit save and then I hit run. And it's going to ask me right away to review permissions. And what you're going to have to do is basically give it permission to save this to your Google account. I just click OK, and it's going to start an execution. Now, most of the time, ChatGPT doesn't give me errors anymore. I found that it used to give me more errors. Now it's pretty good. That said, errors are usually pretty easy to solve here. What you do is at the end, when it's done going here, it'll either give me an error or it'll say that it has successfully saved the test. So if it gives me an error, all I do is copy this error back into ChatGPT and tell it, hey, you made this error, can you fix it? And it usually does a pretty good job fixing it. But it did not actually make an error this time because and I find actually ChatGPT, I think just it gets better all the time. It used to make more errors. Now it doesn't usually make very many errors. But what I can do now is if I go here to my Google Drive, what it will have done is it will have saved this here. So I think, let's see, what did it, algebra multiple choice and multi-select quiz is the one that we just made here. So if I open this up, basically what it did is it created a Google form all pre-made and typed in for me, which if you've ever had to make Google forms, you'll know this is saving you a ton of time. So It's a really, really cool feature, and it's probably my favorite thing to use AI for.